5.1 Nigeria Info Abuja. Now, the show is aired on our brand every Tuesday from 9:30 to 10 a.m. and is the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the Ford Foundation that initiated the Women Political Platform as a platform to engage Nigeria on national discourse, topical issues, and serve as advocacy mechanism for inclusion of women in politics and implementation of the 35% affirmative action, which is a quota system as is being practiced in other climes. Now, as the discussion progresses, please, you can call in via our phone lines on 0809, or let's take 0946000951, or you can dial 08095974869. The Twitter handle for the CDD is at CDD West Africa. You can join in on the conversation using the hashtag #ChangeWomenWant. Now, today in the studio, we will be talking with Professor Anthonia Okoosi Simbini, or is Simbini? Okay, I'm sorry for that name. She's a national commissioner at the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. She is directly in charge of election and party monitoring, and her main areas of interest and in which she worked, published, and consulted include public sector legislatures, politics and election in Nigeria, general issues in politics, especially women's education and political participation, international relations, stroke peacekeeping and conflict resolution, as well as issues in socio-economic development and good governance. Now, considering all of this in place, we just go straight and welcome the Prof. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Can you briefly explain the vision or idea behind the INEC gender policy? Okay, sorry, while the Prof is trying to brace up. All right, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good morning, listeners. I would just like to say that it would be expected that as of today, everybody will realize the importance of human beings, as men and as women alike. But with regards to our gender policy, I'll just say that the idea is that as an election management body, voting is seen as a fundamental human right of everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. And therefore, the election management body should do its best to give opportunity of participation to both women and men alike. And that is the sense in which the gender policy came up. With the need to meaningfully engage and support women and men's equal rights in political participation, both as voters and as administrators of the election process. So, when you look at it from the rights perspective, something that everybody deserves, you will have no choice but to understand it like that. And that is how come the gender policy came about. Thereafter, we begin to see that within the environment, we see the national gender policy around 2006, 2007. We look at the MDGs and now the SDG goals that talk about inclusive participation and development all over the world. You can then see the context in which, as an election management body, we should also rise up to the occasion of ensuring that both men and women are equally provided for.
Interesting. Now, you lead the election and party monitoring, that's the EPM at INEC at the moment, and no political party in the country has a gender policy. So can you tell us why this is so?
Well, issues of gender can be said to be to be so as a result of many reasons.
Okay.
Societal, traditional, religious, and so on and so forth. And therefore, the situation is that we found things the way they are, and we're trying to make a change or difference in the way they are. So political parties have always evolved in the country in this way. There have been a few women here and there in the past and historically, but with time, there is now conscious effort to change things and to let the political parties really understand. If you look at the manifestos, constitution of many of the political parties, there are provisions for engaging women, for involving women, but these are not really actualized or put into practice. So the effort of the Commission is towards trying to make sure that they actually try to implement the provisions of their manifestos, of their constitutions, and then maybe the ultimate will be to have themselves have gender policies, which they can also try to implement.
Okay, so aside, trying to encourage them, is there any specific motivation, that is geared towards the political party to ensure adequate representation of women in politics?
The election management body is also makes effort to be law abiding.
Okay.
We cannot therefore implement what is not, we cannot enforce what is not contained in the laws. So we remain at the level of encouraging, explaining the reasons why things have to be done differently. Up until a year ago, right now we have started with the Association of Political Parties, that is the Inter-Party Advisory Council, and they have now changed things. At the time, as at 2015, the council was not made up of any female, was not composed of any female executive. But right now, at least 2 of the 9 positions that they have are women. Yeah. But they are also now doing their best to encourage their state chapters to also do the same. And I think that once that happens, political parties will again begin to do so. But of course, there are a few, maybe about 3 to 5 political parties have women on their executive. And with this never used to be the case. And so I'm saying that we're making progress, slowly, but surely.
Interesting. So let's talk about also some prospects and probably challenges that you have with the implementation of the INEC gender policy. Well, what are some of the prospects, and you can also talk about the challenges?
Yeah, before I talk about the prospects, I think the objectives of the INEC gender policy within the Commission is to try to use its resources, all manner of resources, to ensure that all actors, as election managers, that is administrators of the election process, as well as voters, are given equal opportunities. So we try to deploy whatever resources we have. And this has been going on since the policy came into place, and a lot of progress has been made. We try to collect data on voters with regards to the election on a gender basis, and use this data that we collect, analyze and use them to be able to address issues affecting the electoral process. With regards, therefore, to the prospects of this gender policy, I really see that it's just a matter of time. Things will continue to happen positively, and a lot of change will take place because we're putting in place, we're very conscious about this, when new commission members join, we try to explain the policy. We tell them how they can use it to ensure that it is implemented consciously, because if you don't make conscious effort, it will never, it's not likely to happen or happen as fast as you want. And the challenges for me can only relate to acceptability, difficulty of acceptability. For a lot of people, they still need a high level, deeper levels of conscientization and explanation. And they also need to see things happen in order to be convinced. You put a female in a position and she actually performs the way that you expect, and then you see that, oh, this is not so bad after all, you know. So these are some of the challenges with regards to acceptance of even people that you would think should ordinarily, that ordinarily should know. And we're encouraging women that are already having opportunities to continue to give it their best, so that will encourage other people to come in.
All right, that's quite interesting. But let's talk about, you know, some of these challenges and probably issues if there are, in your opinion. How do we address these issues confronting the implementation of the gender policy? You've talked about some of the challenges, so how do you think we can go ahead to address these things so that...
Well, we can address them by consciously engaging both the men and the women, because sometimes you actually find that you have some duties, women themselves already feel that, oh, I cannot, I will not be able to.
No, we're not.
But it's because they haven't had a chance. Once they have a chance, you actually find that they are good at it. So we will give the opportunities to female staff. We will engage them during elections. We will engage female deliberately, female ad hoc and security personnel to help during elections, so that they can also not just earn like their male counterparts, but they can also have the experience of doing that. We will assign all manner of assignments within the commission to both men and women, and encourage them to work together in a team. So I believe that by so doing, people can actually begin to see that the policy can actually be implemented and taken to greater heights.
Interesting. Okay, so we're heading towards 2019 now, and I mean, everybody's looking forward to it. On the women political platform, you know, we try to conscientize, as we're doing right now, that look, it's very important that there be gender balance and equity in the scheme of things, especially in terms of our political participation. Now, what will INEC be? What role would INEC be doing, or, you know, be seen doing in increasing women political participation in the country at large? I mean, I know what you guys are doing, the gender thing is really very good, but now on a larger scale, the whole country, what role would you play to ensure that this also comes to?
The Commission is engaged either on its own or with other organizations, civil society and non-governmental organizations, as well as development partners, in the organization of capacity building workshops for women politicians, even women would-be politicians, as a way of giving them encouragement and support, building their skills, and letting them know that these things are actually possible. That is really for us what we can do. Another aspect is what the Commission has done in the merging of the accreditation and voting process during elections. I think there was a high level of voter
Apathy?
Not apathy as such, but when you look at the the situation before where accreditation and voting was separated, you found out that it's not the same number that's accredited that actually turned up to vote. And when you do an analysis of that, it was much more the women folk that did not turn up to vote. We hope that by merging these two processes, it will shorten the time for the whole process, and therefore women who may have gone back home and may not have been able to return because of domestic chores can actually finish the process once and for all. That way, once women know that it's a shorter time, they can actually stay back. We're also doing sensitization programs, civic education to let women come out, particularly now that we're having the continuous voter registration exercise. The data has shown that there are fewer women registering, but we're actually sending out messages targeted at women to encourage them to come out to register so that they can also vote on election day.
Okay, interesting conversation we've been having here with Professor Okoosi Sambine, who is the National Commissioner at the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. She's directly in charge of election and party monitoring. And also she has talked extensively about the gender policy, which she heads there at INEC, and what INEC exactly is doing to ensure that, to encourage the gender policy and also women political participation on the overall COM 2019. Well, it's the women political platform, and it is that time that we throw open the phone lines to have you join in. And let's have this conversation together. If you have questions to throw or to ask, you need areas of clarification, or you want to contribute to the discussion this morning, it is that time. Please call, like we said, 0946000951 and 08095974869. Already we have people, so let's start this way. Okay. Sorry we lost that call. Call us back. Hello?
What?
Yes, good morning.
You're
welcome.
You can see that a man is first caller instead of a woman.
Women will call. They will definitely call.
Let's pray the call.
All right, go on.
Women, actually, they don't want to participate in politics. And we need them. I'm telling you, we need women. As far as we men, we have failed. I'm telling you, we have failed. Look at Liberia. There was war for years. A woman came and that place was restored. Germany and so other places that I cannot mention. Now the problem is women. They don't want to participate. If they told them, they would say, no, I'm a woman, I'm this, I cannot do it. You can do it even more than the men. Just for you to show interest. Just like now, I want women to call to and say, yes, we are serious, we can do it. Nobody that cannot do anything. We will give you. But come out, let's see your interest in it. We'll give you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ncham.
That is very encouraging.
Yes, indeed. He's one person who gives a lot of support, and through his words here on the Women Political Platform. So we're waiting for more of your calls and your contributions this morning. Where are the women? We want to hear your thoughts on everything we've discussed this morning. Pretty interesting conversation we've had this morning, and we're still on it. We have 8 minutes to 10, so still call 0803-123-0293 and also 08000 a Nigeria info on your smartphones. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, how's the work there?
Fine, thank you. What's your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Yakubu. I come from Airport. I definitely, a woman definitely ignore their position. And they too, they're afraid. If not, entire world, if you compare populations of women and men, a woman pass a man population. But I want to bring our attention, more especially in Nigeria here, that several times they talk about that Sarah Jibril. Every for Sarah Jibril. So to me, women, they neglect their position.
Okay. Hello? Okay, well, I don't know. We're back to this Sarah Jibril issue. I don't know when we'll let go of that, but the prof will react later on. Hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, fine, thank you. What's your name?
My name is Petrafe.
All right,
I'm calling from Zaguarana.
Go on, please.
If you read the Bible very well, it said, Jesus said, the mass enemy and members of the household. The women are the enemy of themselves. Because when you look at the statistic of those who kill in the bylaws, majority of them are women. But when you bring in a woman candidate for them to support, the same women will find excuses of not supporting. Some of them may even say Nigeria is too big, state is too big for a woman to run. So you now see that they need to really enlighten them what leadership is all about, that they can succeed. Thank you.
All right, thank you, St. Raphael. Let's see if we can more calls. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Dorcas.
Welcome, Dorcas. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. I say it's women's fault. It's not women's fault. Like me, I'm a bit physically challenged. I've gone to go for my voter's card. When you go to Maraba, that place is a market. And they say women are not coming out. Women are coming out with their babies on their back. You will see the Muslim women with their hijab in the heat of the sun with babies on their back, and they say we women are not serious. Come on.
Okay.
I pray they give us a little chance. We too want to vote, we want to be voted for, we want to participate in what is going on in the country.
All right.
Not say that women are not ready to work. We are ready. They should just give us that enabling opportunity. We'll do it.
All right. Thank you very much, Dorcas, for your contribution. Ma'am, that's one concern too. I've heard a lot of women talk about, especially at the PVC level, obtaining it and all of that. It's so herculean for them. So when I think about the fact that you want to stay in the sun and still come back to domestic chores again, they just rather let it go. So maybe you want to react to some of these comments.
Yes, with regards to Dorcas's comments, I just want to say that things are not easy everywhere and for everybody, men and women alike. But when women then think that because they are women, the situation should be different from them, it's a problem. If you are here as the anchor of this program, you worked hard for it, okay?
Yes,
we should not expect that the situation will be made different for us because we are women. What actually makes us women is the fact that we can undergo the same situation and still be able to make it. I'm sure there are a lot of us that if we're asked if we would like to be men, we will probably say no. Okay? So if you go to the queue Dorcas is talking about, just like there are women, there are men, there are women, there are men. How would it look if as a woman I then come and tell, because I work in INEC, I say, let's have a queue for women and let's attend to the women first. That will not be nice for the men, okay? But we, at the commission level, we are also asking that our staff give special attention, particularly to the elderly, to the people with disability, to lactating mothers, and all of that, okay? And we're doing our best to do that. Okay. A lot of places for CVR are crowded. The commission has issues with regards to decentralizing the process further. It's costly, you know. There are staff there that have to be taking care of their machines that have to be provided everywhere. And we have moved from one per local government to almost double now. And you know, we ask people, this is a continuous process. We go around checking and all of that. So let's just try as women. It is, like I said, because we're women that we should be prepared to go through what men go through and probably a little more. And that is why the whole world, the international community, society are saying, let's appreciate women, because aside the work that they do, they also do work at home. And that is why they should really be appreciated. And when you see women being celebrated, whether as politicians, as teachers, as whatever, it's because they have been able to overcome the double burden, so to speak.
Interesting. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming over to the studio today. We have been looking at implementing INEC's gender policy, the prospects and the challenges, and our guest has been Professor Anthonia Okoosi Simbine, who has taken us through the basic and deep issues concerning this. We hope that so much more will be done, and women would continue to participate in the scheme of things. Thank you once again, ma'am, for coming over, and this is the end of the Women Political.